is that working now? Hopefully that might have fixed something. Oh, awesome stuff. Not sure what's going on there, but apparently muting the microphone actually makes it work. So apologies about that, guys, and hopefully we can give you some commentary of the remaining hour and 50 minutes of this race. So following along at the moment, we've disappointed in the It's Racing Esports Aston Martin, who's fractionally in front of Viper Z in the BCG Racing Ferrari. Of course, Viper Z paired up with Mint Matt, who took a commanding lead through the first part of this race. So there's about a minute 49 gap between Viper Z and Disappointed in the grand scheme of things. So Viper Z could probably afford to just sit back and let the Aston Martin go off into the distance just a little bit and maybe bring it home safely. But I'm sure, knowing Viper Z, he'll be keen to take some extra bragging rights and put it all beyond doubt between himself and Mint Matt coming to the end of this race. The other battle we'll have to look out for, of course, is the gap between Disappointed and GTP Greatness, because I'm thinking at the moment it's about 10 seconds and it's about a 50-second gap between the Aston Martin and the Porsche after the first part of the race. So you'll have to check that gap out. We'll keep an eye on that across the course of the race and see who may or may not come out on top at the end of this one. Looking back at the overall lead of the race, we've got N-Spud P666 continuing on the good form from Punt so far in the Spuds Racing number 32 Toyota. Got a 3-second gap out to Captain Risky in the BCG Racing 96 Toyota. So overall looking at about a 9-10 second gap between those two cars, and then of course the number 16 CP Motorsports entry is just a fraction behind on track at the moment, but probably looking at about a further minute back. So the CP Motorsports Porsche will probably have to get ahead on track and build a gap if they want to improve their position for the remainder of this race. Sitting fourth on track at the moment is Lurox 22 in the RoboSport Racing Toyota. Unfortunately, Little Blacko had a disconnection, so they only completed 10 laps of the first stint. So unfortunately they're about 40 laps down on the lead cars, but I'm sure Lurox will be looking to make up as much time as possible, get as many laps in, and maybe hope for a disconnection somewhere else that may propel him up the order and get them some more points towards the points battle. And then running fifth, Broccolilli. Recently joined the EBM Motorsports team. And now they've taken the opportunity to partner Broccolilli with EBM Brandosa. So the two drivers that are teammates in the Trackstars Touring Car Series joining forces as well here in the Trackstars Endurance Series for EBM Motorsports prototype charge. And then of course the teammate at EBM Motorsports, Aussie Copite, sitting in 6th place, so not too far behind on the road, but a couple laps down in the overall scheme of things. And then 2 drivers have disconnected, Nismo 86 and then Devlin Calypso. As we go back to the GT class, and Disappointed started to build a gap here over Viper's Head. Just put it out to about 2 seconds, roughly 2 seconds now. And it looks like there's been a changing positions here between GTP Greatness and Coming For You. So nice battle going on here, but by the looks of things, it may be hindering the battle between Disappointed and GTP Greatness for 3rd place in, or 2nd place in the GT class. So far it's, in the overall scheme of things, it'll be Viper's Head who takes the class win in the GT class. And then about 14 seconds between Disappointed and GTP Greatness at the moment, so the gap's probably down to about 36 seconds. So it'll be the CP Motorsports Porsche so far holding 2nd place. Unfortunately, it looks like Coming For You in the Mass Spuds Racing Aston Martin has picked up a penalty there, so he'll probably have to burn this one just coming up to the penalty burn zone just here, and he does the right thing there. Unfortunately, it's going to drop him back behind the number 26 Shade-On Racing Team Porsche of Ballistic Ben. Although these guys with Mountain Goat 17 taking the lead stint and Ballistic Ben taking over the car now, unfortunately they had a disconnect towards the end of the race, so only got 21 laps complete, so they're probably about 23 laps down on the lead cars at the moment. As we see the prototypes here just trying to negotiate lap traffic, the 7th place car of Nismo, and then of course Devlin Calypso trying to get through as well. So we'll just take a quick update on that gap between GTP Greatness and Disappointed. Probably looking about 18 seconds at the moment, so Disappointed doing an excellent job trying to make up that gap that Duram 50 put on over its racing at the start of this race in the opening 2 hours. Of course, the opening 2 hours, a very wet encounter, and saw all drivers slipping and sliding around. Definitely a big struggle for grip there in that first 2 hours of the race. Now it looks like Coming For You's just made his way back past Ballistic Ben. Let's just see. We just missed the replay. I'm assuming that they would have had a bit of a position swap due to Ballistic Ben serving a penalty. So just have a quick look at Daz 930T in the EBM Bravo Sport Racing joint entry. sitting down in 14th place at the moment, but looking good for a top 10 in the overall standings so far. So a very strong performance. Just goes to show if you keep it on the track, then you can get rewarded for it. Of course, Michael Levy in the comments cheering on his co-driver as he took on the first stint, and definitely a great looking livery, of course, and an even better sounding car as well. I think we all would, well, a lot of us enjoy the sound of the V8 Corvette. So this battle between Ballistic Ben and Coming For You is still raging on. Well, a little bit of contact there, but they run side by side through the bus stop there. Great move by Ballistic Ben around the outside, as it looks like Coming For You is going to make a move back coming into turn 1 here. Gets down the inside. But it's certainly not over. Ballistic Ben makes a perfect switch back. Gets a great run coming down this straight here as they enter Eau Rouge. Looks like they're going to try and go side by side through here. And Coming For You comes out in front, but be interesting to see. It looked like he just cut across the track a little bit, but it seems as though the GT Sport track limits penalties haven't come into play here, so Coming For You regaining that spot, but this will probably be where the Porsche excels a bit through the twisty section of the track, so we'll have to see if we can... No, missed the replay of that one, sorry guys. Probably should have put a marker down on that one, but would have been a great one to get a replay of, and certainly a good battle going on here between two Porsches, one coming from the CP Motorsports camp and the other coming from the Shade On Racing team. Of course, being the bread of the Porsche sandwich, you could call it, or maybe the Mash Spuds Racing Aston Martin acting as the filling. The gap certainly closed up between the three cars here. Coming For You will be looking for a good run out of here. And certainly will be looking to stretch the legs on this Aston Martin. So he'll look for a way. Looks like he's going to go around the outside here. Let's see if he can pull it off. They run side by side through the turn there, heading towards the bus stop, and it looks like Coming For You might just have the advantage here. Yes, he's gone down the inside, certainly using as much of his car as possible to try and hold on to that position. As it still rages on, this battle between Coming For You, Ballistic Ben, GTP Greatness, all three of them all locked closely together. And it's the Aston Martin of Coming For You that's gained the advantage here, but of course there's a nice long straight coming up, and I'm sure Ballistic Ben and GTP Greatness will love to use as much of that toe as possible, but looks like the power of the Aston Martin is doing enough to just hold that gap steady. So if Coming For You can punch in some good corners here and build a gap, he may just be able to break the toe enough to set himself free of these two Porsches. And Ballistic Ben deep on the brakes there, nearly runs into the back of Coming For You, but just manages to pull it up in time. But it certainly helped keep that gap down, and the Porsche using these twisting and even flowing corners to its advantage here. As it's coming for you, and Ballistic Ben still knows the tail. About 3/10 of gap here coming onto this final sweeping straight. Ballistic Ben getting a good toe here. Oh, he just runs a bit deep into the bus stop, still manages to pull it up. Some great driving there, even though he made a mistake. Still good to pull it up, but of course this is going to open that gap up a bit for coming for you. So gap's going to grow to about a second now. Going to say that that's going to be enough to break that draft. So it's about a second between coming for you and Ballistic Ben. About another second between, so 2 seconds in that gap. So about 24 seconds between Viper Z and GTP Greatness, and another 6 between Viper Z and Disappointed. So probably going to say it's about 30 odd second gap so far. So Disappointed doing a great job in this opening 25 minutes to build that gap over GTP Greatness. Unfortunately, we just saw the disconnection of Lurox. So the bad day for the Robo Sport Racing team just got a whole lot worse for them. Of course, coming into this round, it was all even on points between the Maspuds Racing Toyota of N-Spud P666 and Punts and the Robo Sport Racing Toyota of Lurox and Little Blacko. But with these disconnections, unfortunately, I'm going to say that the Robo Sport Racing Toyota will certainly be finishing pretty well last in the prototype class, and that's going to be very costly in terms of the championship. So a bit of confirmation there from Robo Sport. The team leader, Lurox, has suffered a blue screen, so devastating turn of events for the team. We'll jump back to the prototype battle here quickly. Captain Risky running in second place at the moment. 4.2 seconds back on N-Spud P666. So the overall gap about 10 seconds now. And then Tate 2J just a couple of seconds further back. Just keeping in touch with Captain Risky. Doing a solid job so far. We'll probably be looking to sit there and pick up any of the scraps. Broccolilli having a bit of a run on his lonesome. 20 seconds back on Tate 2J, and then about 23 seconds back on Nismo 76. A bit of a close battle. Well, still about the same gap between the two cars of Nismo 86 and Devlin Clip. So it's about, there's meant to be 8 prototypes running at the moment, but unfortunately we've had a disconnection with Lurox 22 dropping out of the race due to some technical issues. So 7 cars running or remaining in the prototype class. And it looks as if Aussie Copite may have had a bit of an incident there. He's dropped a minute on lap 12, just looking at the times there, and he's now the last car on track in the prototype class. So disappointed. Now out to a 7-second lead over Viper Z in the GT classes. The lead prototype car now comes up to put a lap down on, or probably another lap down on the lead GT car. And as you can see there by the gaps coming for you, certainly extended that margin out over Ballistic Ben. Out to 3 seconds now. And it looks like a GTP Greatness has dropped back a bit further. As he's dropped down behind Daz 930T, who's now up to 12th. I think overall that puts him, I think Daz is now 5th in the GT class on the track as we speak. Although of course you have to counter in the first part of this race as well, so probably still sitting about 10th, still 10th in the overall order for Daz 930T. Unfortunately, Daz was a lap down in the first stint, so he'll have a bit of time to make up there to gain the position over the CP Motorsports Porsche. Just doing some quick maths there. I think probably looking at about 40 odds, well actually, sorry, 30, about 30, 36, yeah, probably 45, so the gap is nearly there for disappointed over GTP Greatness, but still just a little bit to go. Of course, there's still an hour and a half of racing left to go here, so anything can happen. But disappointed, doing an excellent job in this It's Racing Esports. Aston Martin. Is that a mistake there from Viper Z? Viper Z's run off the track. We'll have to get a replay here. Yes, Viper Z's had a spin. So we just caught the back end of that, but obviously Viper's Head dropped well down, well off the pace there. And Viper's Head takes that opportunity to jump into the pits, maybe just take a bit of a breather, reset. Of course, yeah, he's got damage as well, so definitely crucial to head into the pits. So yeah, it'd be a good opportunity just to get himself in, take a bit of a breather, calm yourself down, go again. So a GT class leader making their first pit stop. Bit of a mistake and some damage there, but probably fits inside the pit window that maybe it'll just be the time loss from the spin that will be the most time they lose. And it looks like Ballistic Ben's dropped out as well, so be interesting to see what's happened there. It doesn't look like we're getting a replay of anything there. So 15 seconds of GTP, between GTP greatness and coming for you. 32 to disappointed, so about 3 seconds of gap between the two cars at the moment. As it looks like disappointed will be approaching that first pit stop very soon. Disappointed jumps into the pits now, so he's coming in for his first stop. So here comes disappointed pit crew going to work on the car. Tyre change and fuel. So full tank of fuel from the It's Racing Esports. Aston Martin back out on track. Surrenders the on-track lead in the GT class. It's coming for you at the moment, but still comes out in second place. Good gap over Daz 930T, GTP greatness, and Viper's Head's just a bit further back on these guys, so he's come out of this very well. Disappointed, he's got himself good track position there. As we quickly switch over to the race leader and Spud P666, 3.5 second gap over Captain Risky 21 in the BCG Racing Toyota. So the status quo still remains between the front four cars. Not many position changes going on the track. So at this rate, first three on track looks to be first three in the overall standings. Well, actually, the first four on track are the first four in the overall standings. Sorry. So the two Mash Spud drivers putting in a fine effort here so far. Definitely don't want to put the commentator's curse on, but after probably being comprehensively beaten by the BCG Racing Toyota at Le Mans, it's very much a different story. And it looks like the Mash Spuds team has taken it a bit personally, gone away and done the work and come back hitting. And very much keen to get another one back over the rivals in the Toyota. The on-track gap between Captain Risky and Tate 2J is now under a second. It looks like over in the GT class, majority of the pit stops have been completed, and Disappointed cycling back to the front of the order. 12 seconds over DAS 930T. So about a 12-second gap now, but obviously don't think GTP Greatness has completed their first stop yet, so looks like they're playing the long game here with the Porsche. Fuel conservation looks pretty solid, although I don't think it's going to quite get to the hour mark, which will be what you need to make a one-stop strategy work. Just looking at this, they've got under a quarter of the tank left. And still 20 minutes to get to that hour mark, so don't think it's going to be looking too promising to make that one-stop strategy work, which would be crucial for CP Motorsports to make that work the second time around. But I think they're going to have to make the two-stop work, as it looks like DAS 930T just dives to the pit lane there. Only 2 litres left remaining, so judge that very finely, as we've got the 2 prototype cars from second and third place jumping into pit lane, and Broccolilli looks to be taking over. Yes, he's taken over second place at this stage. So Captain Risky getting his service out the way, back out on track, rejoins in position 3 on track. Tate 2J just leaving the pit lane now as well, so looks like he's lost a bit of time there to Captain Risky in that pit stop. Gap was down under a second, so long pit stop there for the CP Motorsports Porsche. Sees them fall behind a bit on the number 96 Toyota. Of course, it looks like Broccolilli will probably be looking to come into the pits very shortly as well. So gap at the moment, 17 seconds between Disappointed and GTP Greatness. Now out to 18 seconds, so if you're looking, probably nearly a minute for a pit stop or 45 seconds. Probably around a 45-second to a minute mark to travel pit lane, get a fresh set of tyres and top up gas tank. So I'd say once the pit stop cycle out, you'd probably say that the It's Racing Esports 95 will come out ahead of the CP Motorsports Porsche. the overall standings. As Broccolilli enters pit lane now, so that'll hand position 2 back to Captain Risky, and third place back to Tate 2J as they cross the line. Pretty well makes that official now. So the EBM Motorsports, Porsche of Broccolilli and EBM Brandosa rejoining back in 5th place. Of course, Devlin Calypso in pit lane as well, making the first of his pit stops. Now it looks like GTP Greatness has come into the pits, completed his stop. So it'd be interesting to see the gap at the moment. So back to the quick maths again. 3 seconds between himself and Daz 930T. Number 28, so 31, 47. And Disappointed's 20 seconds out in front, so probably looking at well over a minute, probably a minute 10 over the CP Motorsports Porsche. So at this stage it looks like Disappointed well and truly has enough of a gap over GTP Greatness to take over 2nd place in the GT class for this race. Bit of a wide moment there from Disappointed. Probably won't want to have too many of those. So it looks as if the battle packs have become a bit strung out a bit. Just trying to look on track. It doesn't look to be many battles going on as Aussie Copite heads to the pit lane for his, I believe that'll be his 2nd stop. So maybe we'll do a bit of onboard action. We'll follow along with Disappointed for a lap here. We'll cut the audio, so sit back and enjoy the ride. So I've changed the position here. And Spud P666 going into the pits. Coming back out, and it's now Captain Risky who's in the lead of this race. So the undercut paying off for the number 96 Toyota. Just coming out marginally in front of the number 32 Toyota. Although you'd say that fresher tyres would mean that might have a look at a replay here. Not sure what happened there. Especially as we look at the chat, maybe a bit of an incident down at Eau Rouge. As we return back to the lead battle between Captain Risky and then Spud P666. Just 0.8 of a second separating the two as they approach the number 18 Porsche GTP Greatness. Bit of a probably desperation dive there, but just pulled it up. And Spud sensing that maybe he doesn't really want to be stuck behind a lap car while he's chasing down Captain Risky. So it'll remain to be seen whether there's been a bit of a tactical masterstroke here from the number 96 Toyota. Have they managed to get this strategy just right? Remain to be seen across the next hour and 7 minutes. We sure know that Spud P666 is going to keep this pressure on all the way to the end of the race. And who knows, maybe a bit of a difference in strategies, fresher tyres might open it up for a shorter pit stop towards the end of the race for the number 32 Toyota. A bit of a sideways moment there from Captain Risky. Looks like Captain Risky's still leading the way here. Just taking that margin out a little bit. Some 1:59 second laps coming in from Risky. Spud trying his best to match those times. As he closes the gap into about 0.6 of a second. Could be as simple as just sitting back and letting the pit stops do their thing. Maybe a shorter pit stop time from Enspud. We'll see him come out in front. Although I'm sure Enspud will be wanting to hammer home that advantage, take the position on the track, put himself in prime position to take this win here. As now that we've seen the pace pick up between these two, it sort of dropped Tate 2J off this pack a bit, so about 22 seconds back now. So we have a bit of a look towards the battle in the GT class. Disappointed being overtaken by some of the faster prototype cars. Runs a bit wide there. Definitely not what you want to have happen through Puyong. About a 19-second gap between Disappointed and Viper Z, so certainly a steady gap being built there. Certainly not enough to take the overall win in the GT class, but certainly reducing the deficit, and you never know, maybe another mistake from Viper Z might be a bit more catastrophic and could give the It's Racing Esports 95 Aston Martin a chance of taking the win. But you'd say a driver of Viper Z's calibre, you wouldn't see too many mistakes from him, so all he has to do is keep it tidy and he should be able to bring it home for a win in the number 56 Ferrari. As Viper Z's about another 20 seconds further in front of Coming For You in the Mash Spuds Racing Aston Martin. And then it's another 40 seconds between Coming For You and Daz 930T. So Viper Z mid-mat after the first part of this race. We're up by 49 seconds over GTP Greatness and Duram 50. Well, actually, sorry, it was a minute and 4 seconds. And then it was another 49 seconds back from Disappointed and It's Racing in the number 95 Aston Martin. So Viper Z's probably got about a 2-minute advantage to play with over Disappointed. And it looks like it's about a minute 20, a minute 22 between GTP Greatness and Disappointed, so looks like there will be a switch of positions there, probably 49, 50 second gap between those two cars after the first part, so you're looking at about a 30-second margin between Disappointed over GTP Greatness at the moment in the overall scheme of things. And as we've just looked away, it's Enspud who's actually made a move around the outside of Captain Risky here and got the job done into the bus stop, so Enspud retaking that advantage in the lead of the race here over Captain Risky. Although it's still on between the two. Captain Risky getting a good tow down the straight. Pulls alongside, edges in front, got the advantage under brakes and makes the move stick through the corner. So Captain Risky's certainly not going down without a fight. Just definitely isn't going to roll over and let N-Spud have it all his own way in this race. And retakes the lead in this part of the, well, the second part of the 4 hours of Belgium. So the great effort from N-Spud to get into the lead. He's going to have to try and do it all over again. Looks like he's lining himself up here for another attack. Not quite close enough at this stage. Nose to tail between the two cars. Not sure if there was a little bit of contact between the two, but definitely nothing heavy enough to give damage or push Captain Risky out the way. So the battle continues on here. A bit of a out of shape moment there from N-Spud as we ride on board. Maximum attack for Eau Rouge. Well and truly in the draft. I don't think it's going to quite be enough unless he makes a late dive here, but no, Captain Risky's going to be too far in front for Spud to do anything this time around. So Captain Risky just pumping in another fastest lap, trying to build that margin over N-Spud P666. As Captain Risky's comes up to a couple of lap cars here, just had to back off slightly. Oh, a bit of contact behind there between the two GT cars probably opens up the door for Spud a bit. Certainly made it a lot easier. Helped Spud close up the gap a bit here. You can see Spud just throwing his absolute all at it here. Trying to close up the gap as much as possible, get himself in that slipstream. Don't think it'll be quite enough though to get the job done here. You have to set himself up through the bus stop and La Source. even through Eau Rouge. Try and get himself tucked in neatly in that toe and get the job done into Lacombe's. Looks like the gap's a bit too much here. Risky doing a magnificent job through those opening corners. Just getting the gap out far enough that it negates any advantage that N Spud may have from the toe. N Spud deep under the brakes there. Very deep on the brakes there from N Spud. Trying to close the gap in as much as possible. And yeah, good spotting there from Gabans in the YouTube comment section. There is a bit of a difference between the fuel loads on N Spud P666's Toyota and that of Captain Risky's. So definitely a bit of an advantage there for N Spud. Probably a shorter pit stop time in this final stop that'll be coming up. Of course, both drivers trying to put in fastest laps possible. Captain Risky going purple in sector 1. Be very desperate to build that advantage as much as possible. Gets held up by the Mash Spuds Racing Aston Martin there though, so I'm sure maybe Spud will be giving a slap on the back for the little bit of teamwork there, although it was incidental. I don't think any malicious intent was there coming from you, that's for sure. But it certainly helped reduce that gap between Captain Risky and N Spud P666. Well over an hour into this second segment of the race, so 3 hours of racing down here, round 5 of the Track Stars Endurance Series, Race of Belgium. Just a bit over 50 minutes to go. And Toby Chug asking lap difference between the GT cars and the prototype. So fastest lap for the prototypes is a 1:59.12, as you can see on the screen, and then if you head over to Disappointed, it's about 2 minutes 21, 2 minutes 18 even, so probably looking roughly 20 seconds per lap between the two classes. And it looks like Disappointed's had a few off laps and it's dropped the gap to Viper's Head down to 8 seconds. So he'll be looking to recompose himself and get going again. And looks like Viper's Head's getting low on fuel here, so it's very possible that this could end up being a free stop strategy. And Viper's Head may have thrown Disappointed off track as well, because it looks like Disappointed's jumped into the pits for a stop. So Aston rejoins the track. Gonna say it's probably looking likely that they'll have to make another pit stop here. I'm gonna say that the number 56 Ferrari will need to make another stop as well. And maybe even the Aston Martin might have to make another two, depending on what fuel they have left when they stop. If they can stretch it out, make it to the 40-minute mark. Then it is possible that they could make this on one stop less than any other driver. Well, one stop less than Viper's Head and Disappointed at least. Let's check that gap between Disappointed and Daz 930T. It's 44 seconds at the moment, so might be in Disappointed's best interest to just push on, see what he can do, but GTP greatness is a further 6 seconds back, so at this stage, even with that extra pit stop, Disappointed still has enough time in hand to jump the number 18 CP Motorsports Porsche at the end of this race. So the BCG Racing Ferrari now entering pit lane. Making their second pit stop, 46 minutes left in this race, so I don't know if they're going to quite make it on fuel as well. So Disappointed back out in front of Viper's Head, about 7 seconds the gap at the moment, so Viper's Head's closed in a little bit here. Coming for you now assumes the lead of the GT class, but it looks as though he might be having to come into the pit soon. And we better come back to this prototype battle because the battle's heating up here. Captain Risky and N-Spud running nose to tail, barely anything covering the two drivers at this point. Spud looking to have a move there at Puyong. As the Corvette of Dad's 930T just moves aside. Gives those two prototype cars the space they need to battle here. And Spud P666 tucked in behind the rear wing of Captain Risky now pulls out for a move. Gonna try and go around the outside here. Set himself up for the inside and they've made contact! Spud is off the track. He goes spinning. Gathers it back up. Just in time to take the bus stop, but wow. Just hooked that curb. Coming out of Blanchimont. And he takes the opportunity to just jump into the pits and get a fresh set of tyres. We'll get another angle of that. Very reminiscent of Kimi Raikkonen in the 2008 Belgian Grand Prix in that late race battle with Lewis Hamilton. Although this time he had another car there to break his spin. So it looks like Captain Risky's getting a bit low on fuel, so he'll probably be coming in for his final, well, what will be his second and final stop soon. Yes, I think it's safe to say definitely making a lot of people dizzy watching that replay. A few pirouettes there from N-Spud P666. So this lap's going to be very crucial for Captain Risky. Obviously there was a bit of a fuel advantage there from N-Spud P666. So maybe a shorter pit stop may still recover the lead of this race after he comes back out. And Captain Risky into the pits for his pit stop. This will definitely be a crucial stop in the scheme of the race. Captain Risky will need to overcome a 6-second deficit to the Mash Spuds Racing number 32 if they want to take overall honours in this 4 hours race of Belgium. So here comes Captain Risky. Tyre change taking place. Fuel going in. Where is this going to put him out on the track? And there goes N-Spud. He's coming around. And Captain Risky's done it. He's done enough to get out in front. So Risky reassumes the lead of this race. But N-Spud's hot on his tail. Looks like a battle fight's going to come here for the lead. And Spud looks to get the move done here. Reassumes the lead. At this crucial stage of the race, just under 40 minutes left to go. So a crucial move there from Spud. Knew he had to get the job done there. Make that overtake stick. Get himself the track position that would be crucial towards the end of this race. And now he'll look to start building an advantage here. Of course, Spud's teammate Punts, of course, in the comments as well, mentioning it was a very intense last few minutes, and yeah, definitely could have been carnage there. It was very fortunate of Spud to save that incident and get out of it with no damage at all, as that could have proven costly in the overall standings come the end of the race. The gap's about a second between the two at the moment, so Spud probably just trying to build contact between the lap car of Coming For You and Captain Risky. We'll get an onboard look at this. Looks like a bit of desperation to try and, yeah, probably was a bit late there on the move. Probably wasn't what you wanted to do. You may have waited until going around the corner there. It sort of is talked about in the briefings that the GT cars do have a little bit of right of way of being told to just take the racing line. And the onus is a bit on the prototypes to get around the GT cars without any contact. If you start telling GT cars they have to move aside, it can cause a bit of second guessing between the two cars. And the last thing we want is one car to move right and the other car that's coming to lap to also move right, expecting them to stay the same direction, and then you get a very big incident on the middle of a straight, and then probably a lot of finger pointing between the two drivers. So probably with that contact, the gap's gone out 2.4 seconds between Spud and Captain Risky. So Spud's established himself here. Got that gap over Captain Risky, starting to look a bit more safer. And Broccolilli sitting in third place at the moment. And Tate 2J about 20 seconds back. I'm not sure if... I'm going to say Broccolilli might... Yes, he's coming into the pits now, so... Broccolilli will make his pit stop. And that should promote Tate 2J in the number 16 CP Motorsports Porsche back up into position 3. Been a strong run from the EBM Motorsport drivers. And disappointed on the chat, saying he's about to lap GTP greatness. So bit of driving and commenting on the stream as well. So this will be big in the scheme of the overall GT class results. As with the number 18 Porsche going a lap down on the number 95 Aston Martin. That will basically secure second place for the number 95 Aston Martin. So at this stage it's looking pretty safe for the number 56 Ferrari. We've only lost about 9 seconds to the It's Racing Aston Martin, which means they've got about another 1 minute and 40 in hand still. So there goes the number 95 car, putting a lap down on the number 18. Pretty well close to securing second place for that number 95 Aston Martin. And heading back to that championship points. 18 points at the moment between the number 95 and the number 18 in the battle for the GT class championship. So very crucial moment there. An extra 6 points gap for the number 95 It's Racing Esports team will take them out to 24-point gap in the lead of the GT class with 1 round remaining. Certainly gives them a bit of a safety net. Is back in the lead of the race. It's N-Spud P666 still extending his margin over Captain Risky out to 3.6 seconds at the moment. 30, bit over 30 minutes left in this one. Certainly a great recovery here from N-Spud after that mishap, probably not even 10-20 minutes ago. Very easily could have been game over right there and then. But of course, that fuel advantage that the number 32 car had over 96 has panned out well for this team. Just half an hour left to go, and the Mash Spuds Racing team will be taking victory here in the race of Belgium, grabbing a crucial 150 points. And with the misfortunes of the number 14 RSR team, you'd have to say that they're looking the goods now to take out the prototype championship here. Number 95 car still holding a 9.5 second lead over Viper's Head. Then it's 42 seconds between Coming For You and Viper's Head as well. Be interesting to see how it goes here, whether Coming For You does need to make another stop. This could make things very interesting between the three cars if he doesn't need to make that extra stop. Is in ninth place car of Viper's Head, probably about 5/8 of the gas tank left. And then the number 95 under half a tank left, so the Aston Martin certainly proving very thirsty on fuel with that big V12 engine. It's probably looking necessary that another pit stop will need to happen here. So it's become a bit of a quiet race for the number 16 Porsche of Diswood 1 and Tate 2J. Bit over a minute behind the lead two cars now. Sitting pretty comfortable in third place overall though. Same can be said for Broccolilli. Very consistent performance from the two EBM Motorsports drivers. Broccolilli sit comfortably in fourth, over a minute ahead of his nearest rival Nismo 86. Of course, that car was a very early disconnection from the race, so only 3 laps completed in the first section, so nothing to worry about there from Broccolilli's point of view. And then by the looks of things, it will be the second EBM Motorsport car that'll be 5th overall in this battle, even though they're sitting 7th on track in this segment. So the Aston Martin in the pits. Looks like it's topping up with fuel. Another set of tyres. So this should be the final stop for the number 95 Aston Martin. As the 34 of Broccolilli comes past to put another lap down on the GT class car. So it's now Viper's Head in the lead at the moment of the GT class. The only question will be, can he make it to the end of the race on fuel? It looks like just on the bit of numbers that he can make it, but it could be an interesting call here. Looks like he is doing a bit of saving there over the compared to what Disappointed has been doing, and probably the lap times are just down a little bit. Certainly judging by the engine notes, it seems to be probably a different fuel mix from the number 56 Ferrari. He's disappointed, goes straight to work, trying to whittle this gap down between himself and Viper's Head. Coming for you, sitting in third place in the GT class. Probably should take a bit of time here, as it's a minute 40 what it looks. Just having a look. Yes, a minute 40 between Coming for You and GTP Greatness, so. And it's about a minute 44, so on top of the It's Racing Esports 95 taking second from the CP Motorsports Porsche, it is looking very possible that the number 47 Mash Spuds Racing Aston Martin will also get the upper hand on the CP Motorsports Porsche and propel themselves into third position in the GT class standings. Very fine drive here from Coming for You. Doesn't look like he had enough to do the fuel saving game and then come out in front of disappointed, but he certainly played this very well. By the looks of things, I'm going to say he's pretty close to doing this on 2 stops. Viper's Head still a 22-23 second advantage. Looking very comfortable there. Leading the class at the moment. I'm not entirely convinced that this car's going to make it to the end on fuel though. I think it could be a very interesting 20 minutes coming up. Maybe a bit of a splash and dash towards the end. And Spud's still leading the way here. 3 seconds a gap over Captain Risky. Looks to be cruising to the overall victory here in the 4 hours of Belgium. Round 5 of the Trackstars Endurance Series. There's again a bit of perfect timing here with the camera work, as the lead prototype and overall car comes to put another lap down on the lead GT class car. So gap staying steady, about 3 seconds. And Spud leading the way over Captain Risky, and then about a minute 15 further back for the CP Motorsports Porsche of Tate 2J. Looks like Broccolilli's just closing that gap down just a little bit. And then a further minute back for Nismo 86 ounce. Probably a lap down on the lead car in this portion of the race. Plus another 47 from the first part of the race. where his co-driver Loudy Dark Mist unfortunately disconnected after the 3 laps, so they will be well down the order in the overall standings. But I'm going to say, due to some perseverance, that the number 20 car may gain a position or two. Definitely gain a position from the number 14 Robo Sport Racing Toyota, as they were an early disconnection on this one, and who knows what can happen in the closing stages of this race. Probably looking at finishing in 6th overall. Well, actually, I think it'd be, no, it'll be position 7 by the looks of things, with the nightmare walking number 90 car of Rusty and Devlin Calypso. They look set for position 6 in this race. And just checking back in on the GT battle, about 21 seconds between Viper's Head and Disappointed. Still remains to be seen whether another pit stop is coming for the number 56 Ferrari. Either way though, it's looking more and more likely that it'll be a victory in the GT class for this number 56 Ferrari. Of course, Matt Simmons doing a stellar job in the opening 2 hours of this race, establishing over a minute margin over the rest of the field. As the results are coming through from the Split 2 race, and it's Dynamite 296 who has taken out the 2 hour Split 2 race with nearly a 2 minute margin over Warpath 360. So it's about 20 seconds between Viper's Head and Disappointed at the moment. Viper's Head, you'd assume, would be fueled to the end of the race, would be pushing on as hard as he possibly can. Trying to close down that gap between the number 95 Aston Martin and the number 56 Ferrari. 30-second gap between himself and the number 47 Aston Martin, so looking pretty safe there. The Porsche comes into the pits. Not sure what's going on there actually, but they've hit the bollard on the way through, so that'll probably pick up a further 5-second penalty on top of things. One driver we haven't talked about a lot is the number 19 Intercontinental Esports Racing Group. The number 19 Porsche Venti Supersoft. Having a bit of a lonesome time there in 13th place. Of course, this is just for this segment. They've been putting the laps in. Probably might find they get overtaken in the overall standings by the number 90 prototype. But they're certainly holding down a solid spot. They'll certainly be in front of the number 26 Jadon Racing Team Porsche at the end of this. So it'll be look like a P6 finish in the GT class. Got 12 minutes remaining here. Gap still staying steady between the Mash Spuds Racing Toyota and the BCG Racing Team Toyota of Captain Risky. Certainly, N-Spud is keeping a very comfortable margin here. 12 minutes to go, just has to keep it mistake-free. And the number 32 Mash Spuds Racing Toyota will be on the top step of the podium here at Spa. Mash Spuds Racing, 2 victories early on in the season. A win in the Race of Japan at Fuji Speedway, followed up with a win at Laguna Seca in the Race of the USA. A 3rd place result in the opening round at Monza, and then finishing off the podium. And probably what was a disappointing performance from their expectations in the Le Mans 6 Hour. I'm sure they dearly would have loved to stand on the podium at the end of those 6 hours. But a win, their 3rd of the season in the Race of Belgium here at Spa-Francorchamps would probably be a pretty solid consolation. And especially with their main title rivals, the number 14 Robo Sport Racing Toyota, having such a bad run today. They will certainly take the points that come on offer with this. And it will very much set them up for the Prototype Class Championship in the inaugural Track Stars Endurance Series. Of course, the 96 Toyota only joined the series for the Le Mans 6 Hours. There was a previous appearance from the number 96 team in a Chevrolet in the GT class at Laguna Seca. So the number 96, not so much in championship contention, but very much fighting for race wins and podiums. It's actually a 12-point gap between the MSR number 32 and the CP Motorsport 16, so the number 16 would probably become the chief contender for the championship going into the final round, but based on today's performance, you would say that you wouldn't expect the number 32 car to finish more than 4 spots below the number 16. There's a number 56. The Viper Z teaming up with Mint Matt, also known as Matt Simmons. Keeping that advantage to about 18 seconds over Disappointed. Of course, you're looking about a minute 30 gap between the two cars. Once both 2-hour races are combined together. So a very comfortable victory for Viper Z and Mint Matt. So I'm going to say the fuel mileage looks similar between the two cars, so I'm going to say that the number 56 will probably be safe on fuel here. Actually looks a little touch and go whether the 95 might make it. Still 6 minutes remaining, so maybe a bit of fuel conservation coming here from Disappointed. You'd say the fuel burn is a lot more in the Aston Martin than it is the Ferrari, so I'd even say that the Aston Martin has less fuel now than what Viper Z has, so you'd say Viper Z's looking pretty comfortable here for the win. And we cross back to the prototypes, and Captain Risky's cut this deficit down to about 1.5 seconds. Got about 5 minutes left in this race. Alright, just as I say that, Spud just picks up a few tenths here. Puts that margin a bit closer to 2 seconds again. So, trying to look at the times, it doesn't look like there's been a big mistake made recently, so just some good pace from Captain Risky. Couple of 1 minute 58s, of course, will help his cause there. So probably looking at about 3 laps remaining for the 2 lead drivers. Is it just ticking to 4 minutes left in this race? So 1:59 laps. Probably gonna say this lap, maybe 2 more. These prototype drivers. Viper's Head just starting lap 50 now. You'd probably say there's 2 laps left for the GT runners. So Spud P666 heading towards the end of lap number 58 of this race. Going to cross the line with probably about 2 minutes 20 remaining, so gonna say he'll have enough. You'll have time to complete this lap and then 1 further lap. So 2 minutes remaining. Probably 2 laps left for Spud P666 for victory in round 5 of the Track Stars Endurance Series. About a 2.8 second gap over Captain Risky. With Puntz's 6 second advantage over Jono's stand, you're probably looking at about 9-10 seconds as the overall gap at the end of these 4 hours. Looks like a lot of fuel conserving going on from Viper's Head. Into 6th gear, it's probably going to be the last lap from him. Moving very slowly there. So the laps clock's ticking down. It's no more time left in this one, so we'll follow on board with Viper's Head, number 56 BCG Racing Team Ferrari. Heading out of Stavelot. Probably the last big blast down of the straights into Blanchimont. Approaching the bus stop chicane for the final time. Got a yellow flag here. Looks like someone's had a bit of an incident. I'm going to say one of the GT cars, but here comes Viper's Head, crosses the line. Victory for the BCG Racing Team in the GT class in the Race of Belgium for round 5 of the Track Stars Endurance Series. I'm going to say it was probably DAS 930T, GTP Greatness 12th, DAS 930T in 11th place. And here comes our what's looking like our overall winner, and Spud P666, through Blanchimont for the last time, and towards the bus stop chicane. It's been a brilliant drive from both himself and Puntz. Puntz building that advantage in the wet stint. And here comes Mash Spuds Racing, number 32, overall winner of the Race of Belgium here at Spa-Francorchamps. Captain Risky 21 coming across the line in second. Tate 2J, third place for CP Motorsports. Disappointed crossing the line second in the GT class. And that should secure second place in the GT class for Yates Racing Esports duo. Coming for you crossing the line in 10th. Third place in the GT class overall as well. So congratulations to our class winners and place getters across both the prototype and the GT class. Definitely a fine effort across the 4 hours of racing. And there you have it. And Spud P666 standing in victory lane, accepting the laurels of victory. So we'll get a quick recap of the results. And Spud P666 crossing the line to take victory, securing overall honours for Mash Spuds Racing in the number 32. Just a few seconds back, Captain Risky, about a 10-second gap overall for between the 32 and the 96. And then probably a couple minutes between the 96 and the 16 Porsche in third place. Broccolilli crossing the line fourth, takes fourth place for the EBM number 34. Nismo 86 certainly pumping those laps in, probably getting the number 20 RSR Toyota into 7th place overall, I'd say. Aussie Copite crossing the line 7th, he'll take 5th overall. Devon Calypso was in 6th, he'll probably finish 6th as well, with Nismo dropping down to 7th. And then of course into the GT class you've got Viper Z combining with Mint Matt to take the win in the GT class. Disappointed probably getting that advantage over GTP Greatness to take second, as well as Coming For You, who also leapfrogged that number 18 Porsche into third place. GTP Greatness down in 12th, probably take 4th place in the GT class. And then it'll be DAS 930T along with Mickey's 123, who'll finish 5th place in the GT class in that Corvette. And 6th place will be the ISA Racing Group number 19 Porsche. And then of course Ballistic Ben rounding out the GT class, and then it'll probably be the number 14 RSR Toyota, who will be dropping down to last place in the overall standings as well as the prototype standings as well. So on behalf of myself, It's Racing, along with NSPUD P666 and Disappointed, who led you through the first 2 hours of racing, I'd like to thank you for joining in. Apologies for the issues earlier on in this second stint, but I think we got through it all eventually, fixed the issues, and hopefully delivered an entertaining couple of hours of racing for you. So from myself and the team at Track Stars Racing Series, I'd like to thank you for watching along with us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you soon.